great. But anyway, it's all good. Let's check out moments in current affairs.
Radio College.
Right. Yeah, no. I'm just thinking. Oh, I wonder, could it be? A Nigerian social media influencer called Ramon Abbas, but better known as Ray Hushpuppi, was on Monday sentenced in the US to over 11 years in jail. Abbas allegedly laundered millions of dollars of stolen money netted in various cybercrime activities, including online scams and cyber heists. Abbas bragged on social media about his lavish lifestyle, a lifestyle funded by his involvement in transnational fraud and money laundering conspiracies targeting victims around the world. Life in the fast lane would catch up with Abbas when he was arrested in Dubai 2 years ago. Abbas was considered one of the most prolific money launderers in the world, according to Don Always, assistant director to the FBI Los Angeles field office. The Nigerian national, along with convicted money launderer Galib Aulumari from Canada, conspired to launder the proceeds from various crimes, according to the Justice Department. In 2019, Abbas helped launder $14.7 million stolen by North Korean hackers from a bank in Malta. The funds were funneled through banks in Romania and Bulgaria, prosecutors said. Abbas pleaded guilty to money laundering in 2021 and admitted to trying to steal more than $15 million from a person looking to fund a new school in Qatar. By his own admission, during just an 18-month period, defendant conspired to launder over $300 million. The Justice Department said the matter was investigated by the FBI as part of its Operation Top Dog, with substantial assistance being provided by the United Arab Emirates and Dubai Police Departments. So Hushpuppi gone for close to 12 years. No doubt well-deserved after all of the crime spree. However, we'll miss his little posts on Insta. The Office of the Public Protector on Tuesday has its reports issued of Busisiwe Mkhwebane's legal fees to the Office of the Auditor General. Responding to the calls for an investigation or audit into the expenditure incurred by the institution over the last number of years, the Constitution's Chapter 9 institution said in a statement, the issue of Mkhwebane's legal fees have been called excessive by some parties was so far being dealt with by the Parliament. Mkhwebane's legal fees have been to a focal point of ongoing Section 194 inquiry into her fitness to hold office. Some parties have called for forensic investigation into the office's spending. In a statement, the acting public protector spokesperson Ndili Msoki stated that there was a process underway in Parliament, which amongst others was tasked with considering the matter of the legal fees. He said whilst awaiting the outcomes of the process, the institution had already reported the matter to the Auditor General and confirmation was received that the matter would be looked into in the next audit. He said in the interim, the Office of the Public Protector was in the process of reviewing its systems, which included those relating to the procurement of legal services. A Khatfo mob ended the reign of terror by house robbery suspects after one was torched to death in Tembisa, east of Johannesburg. Tembisa police spokesperson Constable Patricia Mkijima said unpacked the dramatic details of the mob attack. The Tembisa Sector 7 team received a complaint of mob justice at Winnie Mandela Zone 7 open ground. On arrival, a group of people dispersed, leaving 3 men on the ground with tires around their necks and blindfolded. According to the bystanders, the 3 men were dragged from Zone 4 where they were accused of house robbery. It is alleged that they broke into and entered 2 different rooms in the same yard, of which in one room they stole a cell phone and 900 Rand cash. In the next room, they could not enter but shot the victim, who was trying to balance the door as the suspects were forcing entry. The victim who was shot was taken to Tembisa Hospital in critical condition, she confirmed. Hearing the screams of the victim, the community came out in numbers, cornered all 3 suspects and started assaulting them while dragging them to the braai stand, which, as they call the ground. However, 2 of the suspects were rescued by police and taken to Tembisa Hospital under police guard, while the 3rd suspect succumbed to his injuries at the scene. It is reported that the suspects are currently unknown in the area. The Tembisa police station commander, Brigadier Rupchand Sukraj, strongly condemned the act of criminality within the community. He says it is a good idea to have a neighborhood watch and recognize patrollers and citizens' arrest, but the community must refrain from taking the law into their own hands as they are incriminating themselves, he reprimanded. People are frustrated, and the way that they are acting out now is being shown to be very harsh and very, very deadly. Soccer legend Matthew Booth's wife, Sonia Booth, has put her husband's financial status out for the whole world to see. She says that her husband's alleged mistress, Bongani Müller, probably thinks he is rich considering that he's a legend, but in fact he is broke and has been so for a while. The model has revealed that Matthew has been putting up an act around people, around the likes of Patrice Motsepe, so he appears as though he still has money. Matthew isn't as wealthy as he might have portrayed. Peer pressure and keeping up with the Motsepes has him dipping his fingers into our son's education fund for years now. A meeting I had with our investment banker last week shook me. I'll be damned, Sonia says. The mother of two then came to Bongani's husband, who is known as Klaus, who she claims may die anytime if only she perseveres. She may just cash in big time because he is allegedly terminally ill. She should stick to her filthy rich 70-something-year-old sugar daddy. She must just hang in there, considering how terminally ill Ntate Tswekere is, she says. Not too long ago, till she gets her inheritance, and hopefully she can start financially supporting her legend, because no asset with my name on it will be sold anytime soon, she tells the model tells Bongani. He himself mentioned his SS salary was not enough. Plenty salary that could stretch someone living sensibly instead of keeping up appearances to impress groupies. Tweeps are, however, playing devil's advocates and saying that Sonia revealed that Matthew allegedly cheated because he is now broke. Sonia is publicly exposing Matthew because he is broke. I don't think if they were still okay financially, she would be doing this. Not Sonia saying Matthew is balling on children's education fund because homie is broke. I swear, Mjolo Kimetsi aka Mohamed's crowd, says Miss Madiba. And Sonia Booth is in me and I'm her. She already broke up with Mateo a long time ago and dealt with the pain before she exposed him. Trust me, I'm a Scorpio. That's how we know to play the game. Shoo. Scorpios, is that how you guys are getting down? Yikes. I'm bending ayas. Television and radio presenter Pearl Shongwe has died at the age of 35 on Tuesday at 8 on the 8th of November. Metro FM newsreader who was on the touchdown with Thibaut Touch has died. The report reports that the radio presenter was found dead in a home in Polo Fields, north of Johannesburg, on Tuesday. A source told the publication that Shongwe was found dead by neighbors who alerted the police. The police are trying to establish the cause of death. Another source told the publication that Shongwe was found lying dead alone in her home. The source also claims that no injuries were found on her body. At that moment, all they can say is that no injuries were found. What you need to know about the newsreader: Pearl Shongwe was born in Soweto. She was a Miss Soweto 2011 finalist. She was a newsreader, kicked off her career working at YFM as an entertainment reporter, and she also worked as a reporter at the SABC Sport. Twitter users paid tribute to her. Somebody said, Pearl Shongwe lived life, a happy soul. She left her mark. Her work was beautiful on TV and on Metro FM. May her beautiful soul rest in peace. Others continue as the tweets pour in. Newly promoted Colonel Malesela Jonathan Ledwaba has left the public divided after his weight outshone his promotion. On Tuesday, the previously Lieutenant Colonel Ledwaba was conferred with a new rank of Colonel and appointed as the provincial commander of the media relations of the South African Police Services in Limpopo Province. Conferring the rank on Colonel Ledwaba and 13 other colonels appointed in other environments, the Provincial Commissioner of Limpopo Police, Lieutenant General Thembi Hadebe, said the new appointments carry with them huge responsibilities which demanded hard work. However, social media questioned the ability of the newly promoted colonel to perform his police duties with the weight that he possesses. Reacting to the weight, the full social media users said, how the hell are they going to catch a criminal? I'm sure he can hardly walk. Yikes. Tembaneta Kula said, the new appointment carries a huge responsibility. The officers are also carrying a huge tummies for the responsibilities. They must go stomach in and stomach out for training. Eugene Kleinhans says, how on earth will our police ever be able to complete any physical activity training, etc., if you see what their physical state looks like? Well, the office jobs, I guess, are not the same as the patrolling ones. Back in the Eastern Cape, we are in Makhanda. A dangerous case of mistaken identity is at the center of an investigation into the escape of 7 prisoners from Wynberg prison in Makhanda. The inmates escaped from the Eastern Cape facility 3 weeks ago, with the police adamant that 3 escapees had been caught. But the SAPS in the province has backtracked. It admits to having caught the wrong man. This means Bennett Kwarile, who was detained for housebreaking, theft, and attempted murder, remains at large. Eastern Cape police say they have launched an investigation into how they managed to arrest the wrong person and why it took so long to correct their mistake. Preliminary results are expected to be released this week. The multi-party coalition in Ekurhuleni says it welcomes the re-election of Mayor Tanya Campbell. Parties say last month's ousting of the mayor was part of the ANC's backdoor tactics. Campbell beat the ANC's Jongizizwe Dlabati, who did not have the EFF's backing. Corruption accused, an African National Congress member of Parliament, Bongani Bongo, said he planned to plead not guilty in the case against him and 17 others. Bongo and his several co-accused, which include private entities, has been charged with 69 counts of fraud, corruption, and contravention of the Public Finance Management Act. He insists that the case is politically motivated. Bongo and his co-accused made a brief appearance in the Nelspruit Specialized Crimes Court Unit. Their charges involve 74 million rand paid by the Mpumalanga Human Settlements Department during the purchase of 2 farms. The deal backdates to 2011. At the time, Bongo worked as a legal advisor in the department. And he says, and I did say the plea is not guilty. The charges have nothing to do with me personally. The case was postponed till next week, Wednesday. Police spokesperson Colonel Malisela Ledwaba said the 47-year-old man handed himself in at Lydenburg police station in Mpumalanga on Monday. This after he allegedly hacked his wife to death. The suspect allegedly informed police that he had killed his wife. After locking her inside the house, Elandskraal police were immediately contacted and the suspect took them to the house, where the deceased's body was found with multiple body injuries and a bloodied panga next to her. A case of murder has been opened. Ledwaba said the motive is unknown, but domestic violence cannot be ruled out. The deceased was identified as Moloto Winifred Mabocha, who was 41 years old. She was an advanced life support paramedic at the EMS Groblersdal station in Sekhukhune district. Limpopo Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Thembi Hadebe expressed concern about ongoing incidents of gender-based violence in the province. Time now, 23 minutes before 10. Lester Kivitt had this to say. The social media giant claims to have laid off many of them by mistake, while others were sacked before management realized that they were needing to build new features Musk envisions. Excuse me. Elon Musk has banned verified users from pretending to be him on Twitter after his big purchase. Musk, a self-proclaimed free speech absolutist, on Sunday banned parody accounts and verified users for pretending to be Musk. Mastodon, an open-source social network that markets itself as an alternative to Twitter, has seen a surge in new signups since Musk's purchase, gaining 500,000 users. Admittedly, not many compared to the 238 million that Twitter has. Elon Musk has promised that anyone who doesn't toe the line will be dealt with. At the Barron's conference, Musk talked about what his position means at Twitter. The crowd looked far right, very conservative. The reception was very warm. In those spaces, he is celebrated. Well, I'd also bring some of my own things into play. Excuse me. I'd also bring some of my own things to play if I owned a platform that would also have so much influence and carry so much weight when it comes to what is actually happening out there. The Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, on Tuesday bemoaned National Treasury's decision to scrap the preferential procurement regulations. National Treasury's move will see state-owned entities do away with the controversial broad-based black economic empowerment policy. Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana is set to detail the government's plan to scrap the BEE policy at the SOE on Tuesday afternoon. The big changes, which were gazetted recently, will allow SOEs to determine their preferential procurement policies. Transnet and Eskom are among SOEs that may no longer need to be BEE compliant. The implication is that the government no longer needs to enforce a clause to force certain sectors to purchase local goods. These changes will take effect in January. COSATU said this will have dire impact on local business owners. The federation believes the move will slow down the bid for economic transformation. And finally, more news on Busisiwe Mkhwebane. The suspended public protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, has lost her free stay at the Brian Tyrion Ministerial Estate in Pretoria, which was funded by the taxpayer. If she wants to continue living there, she can enter into a private lease agreement at her own expense, the Public Protector's Office says. In a statement, the institution said it served a notice to the Public Works Department last month about its intention to terminate the lease. This was done to rectify the obligation of who bears the financial cost of Advocate Mkhwebane's accommodation in line with the relevant applicable institutional policy, as well as her conditions of service. The Public Protector's Office was stressed that Advocate Mkhwebane not being evicted from the residence, as she may continue to occupy the residence, should she elect to do so in her personal capacity and at her own cost. A Section 194 inquiry into Mkhwebane's fitness to hold office is set to resume today, although she has filed papers in the Western Cape High Court challenging the chairperson's refusal to recuse himself. On that note, let's hold it there for now.
This is KNR Radio according to you.